Hi folks. With the recent events being covered by the mainstream media of LIA's arrest and other frauders making it into the news, I just decided we're going to have a discussion today on how frauders see mainstream media and how mainstream media sees them and how they really feel. But before we start today's video, as always, a big thank you to all of my current and new channel members and subscribers. Without all of your support, I couldn't keep the channel going. So I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the page. Leave a like and a comment because it helps me with the algorithm. And a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Aura. With everyone online more and more, you need to keep your personal information safe. This is where Aura can help. Aura is an online security for your personal information and your data. Aura offers peace of mind with 24-hour data monitoring. They also remove your data from data brokers, provide 24-hour credit monitoring. They remove your information off the dark web. Aura even makes sure data thieves can't get your data. And they are out there trying to find it.
And I'll find you.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
Won't.
Aura is offering you a free 2-week trial by clicking my link, aura.com/NCR, and you can cancel at any time. That's aura.com/NCR, or scan the QR code on the screen, or click the link in the description box. With all that being said, let's enjoy today's video.
Imagine walking out of the post office and someone starts filming you without your permission. That's exactly what happened to several Pismo Beach residents this week. I'm your community reporter, Michaela Richardson, and I spoke with locals who say these First Amendment auditors are crossing the line. Pismo Beach police told me they received a lot of calls about the group filming people going in and out of the post office on Monday. They're called the First Amendment Auditors, people who consider themselves to be citizen journalists exercising their First Amendment rights by filming others in public areas, often at government buildings, to hold public servants accountable.
Now, this first story is taking place in California, where a group of frauditors, as we all know, swarmed on a post office to do a quote-unquote audit. In reality, the main reason why they go there is to harass people. Yes, you can film at the post office in certain areas, lobbies, corridors, auditoriums, and foyers. However, you're not allowed to record in the customer area where they handle money. That has been well established. And looking at recent videos, recent cases, take for example Tyrant Terminator, when he was actually given a disorderly conduct citation from the U.S. postal inspectors for causing a disturbance at a post office because he wasn't allowed to film in that area and he did disrupt services. But why do they keep going to these post offices? It's because they misuse Poster 7. And by misquoting it to people, it makes people think that they know what they're talking about. Like they have the authority to do so, even though what they are doing is not allowed.
Angel Ramirez was at the post office on Monday and says it made people feel uncomfortable.
I saw a woman in about her, I want to say late 70s, maybe early 80s, dragging in a bag of her packages, looking terrified. Being the person that I am, I didn't want to stand for it, so I turned on my recording on my phone and went out and asked them why they're giving misinformation, and he stated, because I'm trolling her.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Listen to the statement he just made, to troll her. Now that goes against the core values of being a journalist. The 5 key core values of any journalist are accuracy, independence, impartiality, humanity, and accountability. These things are key when it comes to being a journalist. Accuracy is very important because you don't want to just say the truth because then that's just a long-winded way. Independent. You don't want to be held to the state government or you don't want to be to a special interest. Humanity. You want to show that you care and what you're trying to do is help people, inform them, and protect them. Impartiality. You don't want to show your biases towards the subject that you're covering. And accountability. Owning up to when you make a mistake. But look at frauditors. They don't do this. Yes, they may call themselves independent and they may hold themselves to that one, but the other 4 key values are wrong. They don't do it. How many times have we seen frauditors attack people and say, I'm an independent journalist? We've seen it all the time. If a frauditor can't hold themselves to these 5 simple key values, how can they truly be called journalists?
which to me just is ridiculous.
The First Amendment Coalition is a nonprofit organization that helps educate people about the First Amendment. They are not associated with these First Amendment auditors, but explain they are within their legal rights, which is why police are unable to respond.
I think the police are probably right here. There is a protected right to film matters in public. I will say also that that doesn't necessarily mean that you're free to harass people.
Yes! Yes!
But the right to film in public is an important and sort of foundational First Amendment right.
Employees at the post office tell me this is the third time the same group has been here in the last few months. Valerie Mercado encountered the auditors here in early June.
They were just intentionally trying to provoke people and upset people, which I had no idea why they would do that. But then they said First Amendment, and I'm like, okay, these guys are out here trying to, they're trying to do something or sue people.
Right here is two violations of the code: accuracy and humanity. How is it accurate to go to the places that they're going, like this post office, like they've been in the past several months, to harass people? What are you actually accomplishing with that? You're not providing any accurate information when you're telling people one thing and doing another. When you're saying that you're doing this to troll people, you're violating the code of humanity. When you're going to provoke people for a response, that is violations of humanity. When you're giving people false information, that's violating the code of accuracy. And yet you don't hold yourselves accountable. You think that you're doing this because you have a First Amendment right to, which you may have. However, if you're calling yourself a journalist, how is this showing people that you are a serious journalist? How can they take you seriously when you do such actions?
I spoke with a local First Amendment auditor who says their goal is to stress test the Constitution.
So what we're doing is we're testing our right to go to public places like public sidewalk, public easement. We film what's happening, and we kind of test the reactions of the people at these particular facilities.
Shenanigans. Shenanigans. And we're calling shenanigans on that statement. Yes, it may be your intent to stress test the First Amendment, but is that what you're actually doing? We have seen tons of videos coming from the West Coast crews from people like Silence Boy, Casey Camera Boy, Pedo Libre Audits, Nasty Nathaniel, where they are going to private businesses and harassing the customers. We're seeing them go to places like DMVs and causing them to have to shut down. We've seen this happen with the East Coast crews and people in the Midwest. It's not truly about going and stress testing anymore. It's more about getting the confrontations they want for their videos. Because we all know a video without a confrontation where somebody is interacting with them in a negative light or yelling at them or calling the cops doesn't get them the views and clicks they need. It's all about trying to provoke a response. And we have seen this with tons of their videos.
Pismo Beach, Michaela Richardson, KSBY News.
Now, let's take a look how the mainstream media is covering the most recent incident with LIA and Sergeant Brian Fahey in Connecticut.
YouTuber and his cameraman arrested at a state trooper's home Friday. Now they're fighting back on those charges. Luke Hydash is your reporter covering New London County. He is live in Groton right now to explain. Luke.
These men are First Amendment auditors. They record their interactions with police and government employees and post them online. They identify themselves as independent journalists. And on Friday, they went to Sergeant Brian Fahey's home with questions about his overtime, and they left under arrest.
So far, the being said is fairly accurate. They did go to Sergeant Brian Fahey's house on Friday to ask him questions about his overtime, which is a legitimate concern as a journalist. It's a legitimate question to ask if you believe there's some wrongdoing going. But the way he's going about it could be the issue, and the fact that they're leaving out crucial information.
Get off my f***ing property. Get that gun out of your hand. Get off my f***ing property. Get that gun out of your Connecticut State Trooper. I don't care who you are.
In the initial moment, I just didn't want to be shot.
First Amendment auditor Sean Reyes runs Long Island Audit. Friday's confrontation is the latest between him and State Police Sergeant Brian Fahey.
I should get to work? Is that what you're telling me?
If you're busy.
gonna have a problem.
That was 2021. Friday.
You are. Right now. You spit in my face. My property You're going to jail now.
But Reyes and his photographer wind up being booked, charged with breach of peace, voyeurism with malice, and criminal trespass.
These are baseless charges, and the real criminal should be arrested and charged.
In Sean's mind, he's the victim. In reality, he's the actual criminal here. He broke trespassing laws. Because, as we saw in the video on Sunday that he released, there were 2 private road signs. And private road signs have been held in court to stand as a no trespassing sign because it's not open to the public. Now, Sean tried to edit those signs out of his video that he released on Sunday. But not to mention, Sean knew that something like this would happen due to the past interactions that they've had with Sergeant Fahey. The first incident that we all know of Sergeant Fahey pushing him and him breaking his camera. Not to mention the fact that he's gone back to the same place to have interactions with Sergeant Fahey. In one of those interactions, he made comments that if he didn't have that badge and gun, that he wouldn't act this way. And then actually told him to take the badge and gun off and let's go outside. That video is on his channel, and I covered that video and it's on my channel. So how can this truly show a non-bias, an impartiality to what a journalist would do? Why would you need to go to his house on private property knowing that you're trespassing and breaking the law?
Groton police aren't commenting, neither are state police, but confirm Fahey is not suspended or on leave.
He was the aggressor. The video is very clear on what happened.
I'm back to blue until there's bad cops out there.
Jeff runs a similar audit group, Connecticut Transparency, protesting outside Groton Police Monday.
Disgusting. Just alone the spitting in the face and then brandishing the gun the whole time.
Reyes had questions about Fahey's overtime, which made up about 38% of his 2023 pay and 36% of last year's pay.
You have a weapon in your hand?
Always remain peaceful. There is a way for accountability to be had. We need to handle this in the court of law. We need to be peaceful. We can't stoop down to criminal behavior.
Sean's last statement violates 3 of the 5 core values of journalism. His impartiality, because he's going online night after night accusing Brian Fahey of doing wrong and accusing the media for covering it up or not covering it the way they want it to. You have a clear and cover bias, especially when you go to his house. Second one is accountability. You're not taking accountability for your own actions. You did break the law. You did trespass onto his property. And again, going back to his impartiality, you took a billboard sign truck to what? Try to provoke a response to harass or embarrass him? That violates humanity, and he violated the code of humanity when it came to risking his life and his cameraman's life. You knew an incident like this would happen, but now you're trying to make this all about you. You're trying to raise money for a legal defense, and I understand that, and I say you should do that. However, but when you go online every other night doing 2.5 hour long live streams or hour and a half long live streams saying that the media is wrong, the cops are wrong, you've done nothing wrong, where's the accountability in it? Where's the impartiality? And where's the humanity?
Reyes tells us that Fahey has a protective order against him now. Reyes and his photographer will be back in court here in Connecticut later this month.
Now, Sean did a live stream last night where he criticized the mainstream media for covering the story and saying that not enough of them are doing it, and the way they're doing it is to try to discredit him as a YouTuber or a so-called independent journalist, is which what he is. He lost the Danbury case where they determined that him and his channel is not considered media. Now, this last segment I want to cover is how frauditors interact with the mainstream media and how they actually view them. This comes from 5 years ago with Auditing America and Fake Mike Real News and another auditor.
Fake news.
I think you're cheeking a pill right now. I think you're cheeking some opioid right in your mouth right now.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Why don't you open your mouth and tell us that you don't support opioid manufacturers?
These large corporations.
Swallow that pill quick. Swallow that pill. Try the red pill. Try the red pill.
Ryan Crandall's a sellout. He just works for his corporate masters and the Touch of Gray sponsor. He doesn't care about anything else. He couldn't be anything by himself, so he had to bend over for large corporate sponsors.
Ironic.
It is ironic that they're calling him a sellout. I mean, think about it. They're posting their videos on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all major corporations. YouTube is owned by Google. Google pays YouTubers who are monetized through AdSense. They pay them to upload their videos to run ads on them. You're a sellout to a corporation. If you're truly an independent journalist and you want your information to get out there on an unbiased, corporate form, why not start your own website? For example, Really Cool News. Really Cool News has its own YouTube channel, but they also have their own news website where they post their stories, where they post corrections if they have to. They do everything they're supposed to as a true journalist. They actually crowdfund to keep their website going. They don't do it for paid corporate sponsors. Now, if they can do that, why can't frauditors do that? It's because frauditors aren't really about journalism. It's about making money from Google.
He couldn't be a journalist like Mr. America and get 38 million views in just a year. No, he had to sell out to NBC, General Electric, the Rockefeller family, because he's a fraud in a bad suit. And he's not going to do anything. He's just going to live his whole life, retire, and not do anything. He's not going to stand up for the truth. No, he's just going to do whatever his corporate fraud masters tell him to do. That's all. Brian Candle's life means absolutely nothing. He just bent over. He's another cog in the wheel, helping the military-industrial complex.
With all due respect, what the fuck are you talking about?
Helping those folks that lied over 9/11, lied about the weapons of mass destruction. You're on the side of warmongers and pedophile protectors, Mr. Crandall.
It's funny. He's saying all these things, that he won't denounce these things. But yet, frauditors don't denounce their own community's actions. Look at what happens when a frauditor does something wrong. They don't say, that guy was wrong, we're not standing with him, that doesn't go with what we believe in. Last year, when Leroy Truth did his big, frauditor palooza in New Jersey, Ron of Guerrilla Media attacked a woman verbally over her weight and her sexuality. And when the angry vet stood up to him, they re-edited the video to make him look like a clown and put a clown face mask on him. Why would they do that to him when he's actually trying to hold them accountable for their actions? That shows integrity. That shows accountability. That shows an impartiality. That shows what true journalism should be at that moment. He's saying, I'm here to hold the government accountable, not go after everyday people. There's a difference when it comes to frauditing and auditing and journalism.
His panties. Lowering his panties for the mainstream news. Brian Candle is a fraud and a sellout. How do you sleep at night? Oh, you guys are whispering. Oh, let's whisper each other. With my weird hat, let's whisper. Oh, look at this guy. He's got a sign of Michael Bloomberg. What do you feel about Michael Bloomberg flying around the world with known child rapist Jeffrey Epstein, sir? Do you support that? You don't care about him flying around with child rapists? Neither does he, because he doesn't have the balls to talk about it. He only talks about what his corporate masters tell him to talk about. Who paid you to wear that hat, sir?
God damn it! Will you shut the hell up? Nobody gives a rat's ass. Yeah, go away.
I got it at Target.
Hey, I gotta say, man, I like the hat. It's got some style.
Brian Crandall, grow some balls and be a man. Do some real stories. Don't listen to what your corporate master tell you. That makes people respect it. I'll be the first person to shake your hand if you do some stories on DC Lax, Jeff Epstein. Check that.
And we're going to end it here, folks. He summed it up best. These frauditors are frauds. The mainstream media is trying to inform people of how frauditors act and what they're doing and what they're saying. But what we see in the videos on YouTube and on TikTok, on Facebook, are not what they're actually about. They're truly not about journalism. They're truly about trying to get content for their channels. It's about proving their superiority over people. It's about them making fun of people. It's not true journalism. It's just bullying. So if you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up and a comment because it helps with the algorithm. Don't forget to check out my second channel and the podcast. With all that being said, be well, be safe, and I will see you guys next time. And a special thank you to all members of the news team. Without all of your support, I couldn't keep the channel going. So I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. You guys mean the world to me, and I can never thank you enough for all the support and encouragement you guys give. You guys rock.